So for the NAI is just a different governing body than the NCAA. It um, is comprised of schools that are very similar in size to Division III schools. However, when it comes to scholarship money, we do offer eight. The NAI offers 8 full scholarships for programs. Then they do this cool thing called counters, and that depends on your GPA. If your GPA is above I wrote it down so I didn't forget, a 3.6, you have what's called a full academic counter. So none of that money, if you have above a 3.6, counts toward your 8 scholarships. So there is room for more potential more scholarships. And then if you're above a 3.3, you have what's called a half counter. So half of your money would count towards your 8. So depending on the school, some schools offer unlimited, and the program can kind of grow as the grades grow. Other programs limit it to kind of a hybrid system, very similar to what Division II schools do. We are also very regionally based. A lot of the conferences are very heavy in the Midwest. There's not a big NAIA presence kind of in the Northeast or in the Northwest. A lot of it is very kind of in the Midwest and kind of the Mid-South regions. There's a big pocket over in kind of California and Arizona. The biggest differences with the NAI is a lot of the recruiting rules are different. And then also we play with unlimited subs. So it's kind of cool where we can do some different things with different lineups or some different lineups or some different personnel decisions when it comes to the actual game. And then recruiting rules, we don't have the same dead periods as Division I and Division II do, and we also don't have times where we can't either talk to kids or we can kind of get into club practices and do some different things. We got 249 schools that are in the NAIA, and then we also have a 64-team tournament too. So our tournament at the end of the day is just as big as the Division II or Division I. I'm not sure, does the Division III tournament do 64 teams as well? So yeah, we have the same general tournament postseason tournament schedule. We're strictly based on winning your conference or winning your conference tournament is how you get in. There are very few not qualified bids given out to the national tournament. So it's kind of more win your conference and you get in. So it's a little bit kind of more just like D2, kind of win your region, like Jen said, win your region. Ours is kind of a little bit more win your conference. So yeah.
All right, now the two-year college, which is run by the NJCA, and we love the term two-year college or community college. We do not like the term JUCO. It's very offensive to us at our level. But the two-year college, we are mainly a regional. We are divided up into 3 levels: Division I, Division II, and Division III. And the division is determined by the type of scholarships you give, not by the size of the school. And our D1 in the two-year colleges are ones who can give full rides. D2 can give partial rides, and D3 cannot give athletic money. For the D3, we give mainly our monies based upon either academic need, academics, and those type of things, same as the 4-year schools are. But we are regional. Mainly, we're looking for kids who live close to us. We're looking for kids who don't want to spend a lot of money to go to a 4-year school because 2-year colleges are much more inexpensive. Most of the 2-year college will have something specific which they offer or they're known for, such as nursing or business or something on that particular line. You'll look at the Division I in the 2-year colleges, you'll see many foreign athletes at those places because they can give them athletic money. Whereas in the Division II and Division III, you won't see that very often. And again, we're looking for kids who don't want to really go far away from home, not ready to take the big move far away from home. They want to stay close so the parents can come and watch them play. A lot of these schools will try and create a family atmosphere, so it's very close for the kids and the parents to spend time together and do those different types of things. And it depends on each of the schools, how far they want to travel, how much they want to do. But it's very competitive volleyball. You'll see a lot of these two-year colleges will scrimmage the four-year schools during that particular time in the spring season, and do very well against a lot of them. And so it just depends on the level you want to go at, what your academic interest is, and basically a lot of times how far away you want to go from home. Do I want to go away from mom and dad yet? I'm not ready to make that move yet. Or deciding let's go for the first 2 years at a two-year college to see if we want to go on to a four-year school. And a lot of your really good players do go on to four-year schools. Four-year schools do recruit the two-year college level.
Awesome, thank you. Backtracking back to Josh, I know you mentioned how NAIA has different recruiting rules, which leads me to my next question. And everyone can chime in too with their for their division as well. But since you brought it up, how early do you start the recruiting process?
Personally, it depends. Personally, we talk to at UNOH. We talk to most of the kids kind of coming out of their sophomore year, so they're about their 16th year at club. It kind of depends, just because there's such a broad spectrum of athlete at that point. Kids are still going through growth spurts. Kids are still kind of figuring out different positions. Some kids are playing multiple sports and haven't given all of it to volleyball yet. So we're kind of still talking. I'll talk to with the per the NAIA rules. We can talk to anybody. So if I'm in a tournament and a 15 or a freshman wants to come talk to us about coming and play at UNOH, I'm not going to turn her away. We do talk to her, but when we seriously get into the kind of serious nitty gritty is about kind of sophomore year, junior year. We like to finish our recruiting classes kind of by the end of the club season of their junior year. So like this year, we would probably have been finishing up our 21s. But we're always kind of looking for a piece here and there. So it kind of extends through the whole time.
Does anyone want to chime in for their division?
Sure. In terms of Division 3, because there's such a wide range of schools, I think there's a lot of coaches that do it very differently. Some start very early as sophomores, and some, are still recruiting seniors in March and April. So there's a really large range, but I think for the top programs in Division 3, they're on a little bit more of an athletic scholarship timeline. So they're looking to recruit those athletes that are being recruited by Division 1 or Division 2, but then are really looking for more of the academic balance. And so they're looking to engage those students earlier. But I think because of rolling admission, Division 3 schools in some cases are able to take students who could apply even later than kind of a regular decision deadline and still bring players in very late in the spring of senior year. So there's a really wide range.
At the two-year college level, we're pretty similar to Division 3, what she was saying, that we do recruit the juniors. We'll look at some sophomores, especially if they live close to your school. But we're also looking, seniors coming late. Hey, I didn't get recruited. I want to go D1 big time, but I'm not getting recruited by them. So now they say, okay, Sonny, can we go to Owens, or something on that particular line. So we're looking at all levels. And the thing with us, we can talk to kids anytime. We don't have dead periods at the two-year college level. So we can talk to kids anytime, and they can come up and talk to us and give the tours and all those different types of things, which, you can do.
I would speak for Division 1 and just say, I know they often get a bad rap for recruiting 10-year-olds, but it's really not that bad. Certainly, people involved with your program and your boosters and your fans are constantly calling you at saying, oh, there's this kid that, you can find out about some phenomenal athletes very easily in any of these divisions. But, the rules have been established to really try and keep it where it's getting more and more sane. When I was coaching a few years back and all the years before that, it was insane in a lot of ways that we were asked. Actually, I had lots of athletes say, I just know I want to come to A&M. Will you offer me in the 9th grade? And this was maybe 10, 15 years ago even. And I was pretty shocked by that, especially at Texas A&M when I first got there. But, it's a huge school. There's this is very common with some of the large universities. They grow up wanting to go to a place and let you know it. But in general, I can honestly say it's not that different from what everyone else is saying. Often, you know, your list starts pretty large when they're 14 and 15, and you see athleticism and size and good academics and commitment and good programs they're in. They're getting great training, and then it starts to kind of filter down to a relatively small list and of what not only people that haven't already committed when they're 10th graders, but you know, who still can compete at that level that you think that has the potential and all of those types of things. So I would say a lot like what Josh said about when you really get serious about them. For us, it's always been around the 10th and 11th grade when they start to feel the pressure. They start to feel like, yeah, it's time for me to stop with this craziness of recruiting and get a decision made, or not. You know, some of them have parents that have been incredibly involved and said, you know, I'm not happy with my kid making a decision yet. So you just get all kinds, but it can start very early in terms of them coming to your camps and making it known that they're really interested in your school when they're babies. It's a little bit ridiculous sometimes, to be honest, but it's the way it goes. And some of those kids really do pan out to become pretty phenomenal players. So I wouldn't discourage letting coaches know, you know, what you really want as a family or as a player. But I would say it's at Division I level, it's just incredibly competitive. And yes, teams carry 17, 18 players, but only 12 of them are receiving any athletic money. Only 12. That's all you can have. So the others are walk-ons. They come on their own money, or in various combinations of other packages if possible, if compliance allows it. But there is really half the team sometimes, or a third of the team, are all there because they just want to be on that team and they're paying their own way. So there's just so many factors that feed into it. But just back to how early do we start recruiting in Division I? As soon as they can walk.
That's good. That's good.
It's a retirement.
As far as Division II, I mean, really, we're kind of on the same timeline as everyone. You know, have our list as they're freshmen, it whittles down when they're sophomores, and as communication is allowed when they start their junior year, that's really when everything kind of kicks into gear. Being that Division I is only now in the second year of the more strict rules, I think things are going to shift a little bit. I'd like to see, you know, how that kind of filters through with maybe not the top 50 recruits, but what does that mean for the other thousands of recruits that, you know, have the dream of playing at Florida or Penn State, and some of us as coaches know that that's probably not going to happen, and how quickly can we help them figure that out. But typically, you know, you're looking at spring of junior year, fall of senior year, because we do have national letters of intent, the same as Division I, that is signed in the fall. So usually you're looking in that kind of a time frame as far as commitments are happening. But Division II can also do tryouts during junior season. So spring of their actually participate in a practice with the team. So that's a really big time for Division II to get serious about their recruits and not just have visits, but have them participate with the teams as well.